Now this is something truly rare to see. Watch as our ground speed drops below 10 knots. It looks like it's just hanging in the air. If we take a look at a few of those speed mods I was talking about, let's start up in the front here. If we take a look at the exhaust, you can see that it's covered by this cowling. This is that short stack power flow exhaust. This cowling helps to avoid air going up into the cowling and keeps it aerodynamic. It's got additional coverings here on the front strut to help with the aerodynamics, and then on the main wheel it's actually got additional covers as well for the speed mods, both on the outside and on the inside edge, all to help with that aerodynamics. And this is wider and more of a wing shape to it, so all those together help with making it faster in flight. And then you take a look at the wing and you can see here that this actually has a stall kit installed. You can see where this extra ridge is on there, and that helps with the slow flight characteristics. See that over here too as well, where that is. And then the last point for the speeds, take a look at the tail of this plane. They're kind of like vortex generators if you see how they're set up there. So again, all of these little features combine to make it a really fast plane in flight and allow you to fly really slow. I've had a number of people ask me the performance difference on some of these different modifications the Cardinals have available to them. This is the perfect plane for that with all the mods that it's got on it, so let's take it for a little bit of a flight and see what it can do. As you can see, the plane needed only a few hundred feet to take off, and this is with no flaps due to the gusting crosswinds. With flaps, it could lift off even sooner. Now we're not at full gross and the temperatures are colder, which helps, but still, 1100 to 1300 feet per minute is an impressive climb rate for a Cardinal. Once we set the power for a cruise climb and lean the mixture out for our altitude, the engine runs nice and low temperatures on all cylinders. Even at lower power settings, we've climbed to 8,500 feet in just a few minutes, so we're going to be turning east to give some space to the jet traffic coming in for landing on the Chicago Airway. While in level flight, we increased the power to 2,700 RPM, and the plane reached a ground speed of 160 knots. Through a combination of many things, including the help of a tailwind, the colder weather, of course the speed modifications, power flow exhaust, and this propeller, which can produce 75% power all the way up to 10,000 feet. Now let's set up for slow flight with full flaps and check out the stall speed on this plane. You can see that our airspeed drops way below the top of the white arc, which is the dirty stall speed. At this point, our airspeed is down to 47 miles per hour or 40 knots. Just take a look outside. It looks like it's just hanging in the air. And the plane could have flown even slower, but we recovered before the stall buffet because of the gusting winds today. On our way back in, we loaded the RNAV 18 approach to Stark County Airport on the Garmin 650 and then loaded the approach plate on the Garmin 660 below it. Then we activated the autopilot to fly the GPS approach. We managed the power for our descent and then set the altitude hold above minimums. Now since this plane has additional GPSS roll steering installed, the autopilot is flying a smooth coordinated course reversal with altitude hold above the minimum of 3,000 feet. Now this is something truly rare to see. Watch as our ground speed drops below 10 knots. here, the plane is flying at just 8 knots of ground speed. It's honestly like standing still in the air. If we had used full flaps, we could have gotten the ground speed close to 0. This is a combination of a headwind and that stall kit installed to get this speed down this slow. Being a bit lower to the ground and with the 25 knot gusting winds today, going even slower was just not the best thing to do. On our final approach, the winds are gusting 17 to 25 knots and mostly on a crosswind. So we've got to fly pretty crooked and crab into the wind as well as land with no flaps. But even with no flaps, you could still land on a very short runway and turn off on the first taxiway. It's a very nice experience in a Cardinal. Now this airplane is for sale, and we've got the full video of the plane and detailed flight on our website. You'll find that link below in the description. I hope you enjoyed watching the video today. As always, we ask that you take a moment to like our video, subscribe to our channel if you've got any questions or comments or anything like that that you'd like to ask. Feel free to leave them down in the section below. We'll do our best to answer them.